Welcome to the media conference for the Washington Huskies. Matisse Thybulle and Jalen Howell. Pardon me?
Noel.
No, I'm sorry. Noel. Our guest, and we will have, please, questions that are directly to the players. Don't ask for a group answer, just one or the other, and then, or say, please both comment, and then ask one specifically so that our cameras and microphones can keep up with everybody. If you need media coordinates for the satellites, they are one of these sheets of paper, and as soon as I find it, boy, I'm going to share it with you again. Galaxy 17, transponder 20A. Downlink frequency is 12086.5 V. 120 86.5 V. You guys got that memorized? Good? All right. Questions for the players? Go ahead.
Percy Allen with the Times. And for T's first and then Jalen, just after taking a look at Sam Merrill, maybe on tape or, sort of as you guys sort of get into Utah State a bit, what jumps out at you about first Sam and then how they run their offense?
First thing for me is just firstly how talented he is as a scorer and just how he does it so effortlessly. He's able to put up big numbers, and it's not by forcing things or taking bad shots. He's a great team player, and then also to add on to that, their team as a whole plays really well together. And I mean, it's cool to see, but yeah, they play well together, and they have a great leader in Sam and a great scorer with him as well.
Yeah, he really moves the ball very well. He doesn't really force a lot of shots, and that's something that you really need as a leader. And so yeah, he's been having a great year, and he's a really good player, and he's been leading that team very well this whole year.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. Matisse, just how have you guys gone about shaking off a loss in the conference tournament and then entering March, where a lot of teams come in really hot?
I mean, it's always the next game. You can't win or loss. You can't really dwell on it. So for us, it's just we moved on the second the buzzer went off and we got back on the bus. And I know we're really excited to be here and have this opportunity to play in March Madness.
For Matisse and then Jalen, it's been since 2011, I believe, that since Washington's been back to the tournament. You guys were in late elementary school, early middle school, maybe then. Do you, either of you guys have any memory of that? And then your thoughts about being the ones to get Washington back here?
Do you remember that?
I do not remember that. I was 2011. I was probably 10 years old. Probably somewhere in my backyard, maybe shooting. I don't know what I was doing. You remember?
Not at all. I just think for me, and I know for Jalen as well, it's really exciting to be able to bring UW back to this stage, because I know that Husky basketball has been known as being a great program, and they went through a stretch where they were able to get out, play in March Madness for a little while, and it's been too long, and we're just really happy to be able to bring us back.
What's your campus experience been like since Sunday? I mean, obviously there's a high level of excitement among the other students who are on campus, and you guys are heroes for at least a few days and hopefully more.
It's been cool to just see over the course of the year just how that people have just band together and just been supporting us, whether it's from professors to students to staff members, and it's been really cool to just see how people are getting excited again about our basketball team.
Good.
Matisse, what's the biggest difference you've seen in Jalen from when he was a freshman coming into this season? What's the biggest development you've seen in his game?
That's a tough one. We've talked about it a little bit. When Jalen got to UW, he was just a killer. He knew how to score, and so his freshman year was a lot of that. And you saw it with his first game. Who comes out their college debut and scores 30 points? That's insane. And I think his biggest development is just he's become a well-rounded player. He thinks the game at a way higher level. He makes everyone around him a lot better now. And just to be able to see how far he's come from that first year, and just 1 year really has been really impressive.
Stephen Bailey with the Syracuse Post. I wanted to ask you guys about Mike Hopkins. What have you seen him do in the last 2 years to start to maybe set his culture with the program? And he just got signed to an extension. Where do you see that development potentially going?
Well, first, I would love to say Coach Hopkins has been one of the best coaches I could ever ask for. And, when he comes in and day out, he works very hard on everything. He loves all of us. We love him. And we just love coming in and working hard for him. And, the first year was exciting, and for him to come in, and especially this year, with just the energy he gives us, he brings us all as a team, brings us together even more as a family. That's really one thing he really harps on, is that we're all family, and that's what we all been.
Sorry?
What's your experience been like with Hop? Maybe projecting forward a little bit, where do you see maybe that culture and the growth continuing to go?
It's been good. We were joking about walking in here about how he's a player's coach, and I think that's a huge thing. And I think that going forward is that his ability to build relationships with his guys. And I mean, we've only been with him for 2 years, but the guys who start off with him, to see how their relationships grow going into their third and fourth years, and just being able to use that as a recruiting point going forward, is because we all know that we love him, and it's just becoming more and more known throughout the country that he's a great guy and a better coach. And to the family that he's created at UW has been great, and I know we can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Just to follow up quickly, he's obviously coached. Just to follow up quickly, he's got a ton of NCAA tournament experience. What has that messaging been like from him? And when you mentioned him being a player's coach, like from the experience perspective, like how has he messaged to you guys kind of in Columbus?
I'll take it.
Either one, both. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's exciting to have a coach, and I think more importantly, our coaching staff has a lot of experience in the tournament and has had a lot of success. And being with people who have been here and done it at the highest level, it's pretty special, because none of us players have been able to play at this level. And to have that like comforting force in our coach and our coaching staffs, knowing that they know what it's like, what to expect, is pretty reassuring and like I said, comforting to have.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN for Matisse. Utah State's coach compared you to Deion Sanders and how you cover the court. I'm just wondering, what is it about this defense that's allowed certain things in your game, or just natural things you have to blossom the way it has?
These guys. I mean, seriously, like we play a zone, and these guys load up the backside, so I'm able to go and make plays and try and chase the ball around a little bit. And that's huge for me, because just trying to be disruptive, I have to be able to go and get out and gamble sometimes and kind of put our team in some tough situations, and they do an incredible job of having my back. And honestly, they make great plays out of that. So I think for my own personal success, a lot of it had to do with, one, Coach Hop, and then two, just the four guys I got in the court who had my back at all times.
When you were growing up, is that the style of play you had, or is that something you grew into when your body grew?
I actually, when I was young, I used to, whenever my teams would press, they'd throw me in the middle of the zone, and I would just kind of run around and just play like free safety, trying to pick off as many passes as possible.
So you really were Deion's. Yeah.
Never actually played football.
For each of you, what is the absolute goofiest thing Hop has done? Whether practice, on the bus, in team meal, whatever.
That is a good question.
Great question.
There's so many highlights with this man.
Feel free to protect your playing time at this point.
Man, I don't know, that was a tough question. I could think of plenty. Can you think of any like specific?
He has, sometimes he'll go on his little tangents, rants, and he'll start reenacting what us players did on the court, and just kind of making fun of us. And one time he was frustrated at one of our guys because he grabbed on the rim and got an offensive interference, and he was reenacting that play in our film room, and like he jumped up and punched one of the little ceiling panels and like shifted it so there was a hole, and like it didn't get fixed for like weeks. That was pretty funny.
Oh, I got one. we have this little bat that symbolizes our tougher together saying. So like sometimes he'll get like kind of angry and he'll kind of pull it out, kind of just like point at us, like and tell us like everything we're like doing wrong. And one day he kind of just like pointed at us and kind of held it up like this. So everybody's kind of thinking, oh, he's about to hit somebody. But he kind of just put it up and just walked out the room and didn't say nothing. And we're all just looking around like, okay, what is he about to do? Is he about to go break something in our locker room, or is he about to come back and really start swinging on us? So yeah, that was one that I could actually, crazy. He didn't swing on nobody. No.
Another thing that he does a lot that we kind of don't think anything of it anymore is like he'll just drop and do push-ups for like no reason. Like he'll just get really excited and just start doing push-ups. He's done it in press conferences. I think in his first one at UW, he dropped down and did a couple. Yeah, push-ups are his thing.
Well, we can look forward to that in a few minutes. Do we have any other questions for the players? Go ahead.
Is there, do you guys think, of anyone, either on your team or on their team, is there an X factor in this game, that maybe somebody who isn't on this podium or, who isn't getting a lot of attention, but could be a big difference in this game? And I could start with Tease and then head to Jalen.
I don't know, for us it's we're pretty special in the way that it could be any guy for any game. And we've shown that like throughout the season, it doesn't really matter. We have guys who step up coming off the bench. We have starters who step up, who usually don't score that much. And I think that makes us a pretty special team because it can come from anyone on any night. And then as for Utah State, they have a lot of guys who aren't very well known. And if you look at the numbers, they have some really, really talented guys, and I don't think that a lot of people across the country know much about them, but I know they're going to start hearing about their names come up pretty soon. And I think that us respecting the scout and just being aware of our coverages will help us a lot because they got some firepower that just isn't talked about much.
Yeah, well, like T said, we have a team that really has a lot of guys that it could be on any given night. So everybody's going to come out and play hard, and that's one thing that we really take pride in. And for the other team, they have a lot of guys as well. They're not as known, but they won the championship for a reason, and they're a really good team.
You guys were terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Coach Hopkins in 2 minutes. Thank you. Coach Mike Hopkins, head coach of the Washington Huskies. Your thoughts, questions? Coach, let's go ahead and start with a statement about how happy you are to be here.
Okay, just so blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to be in the NCAA tournament. The last 2 years have been an incredible journey with our seniors, sticking with the program and really working hard and having a really good year and getting an opportunity to play for a national championship. It's really, really special. It's one of those feelings that not only now, but for the future you want to have for the rest of your life.
Matisse and Jalen have mentioned that you've done push-ups at press conferences, so we'll leave that up to you later when we finish up with the questions. Go ahead.
Just how important or maybe even awkward was it to get your contract done during the season before the NCAA tournament, maybe to get that out of the way? Was the timing great, or was this kind of where you wanted to do it?
For me, it's as simple. I've always believed in surrounding yourself with great people, and I have at the University of Washington. I'm excited to be there for a long time, but this is all about the kids. This is the experience for the kids to have an opportunity to, hopefully finish out what has been a successful season. It's not about me, never has been. And next question.
Nice.
Do you think this, though, sends some type of a message as to the school's commitment to you and then your commitment to the school?
I just, like I said, surround yourself with great people, and I'm with an incredible university, and I love the kids that I coach, and just really blessed and lucky to be there, be the head coach.
Hi, Mike. Mitch Stacy from the Associated Press. It's been 8 years, I believe, since Washington's been to the tournament. Can you talk about what that means to you and your players to be the ones to bring the team back here, and how important that was when you were back on campus and that sort of thing?
Well, I think, I really believe in the score takes care of itself. And what does that mean? It means, you surround yourself with great people. I got an incredible staff, and you just try to get better every day. And, you never know. People had asked me, are you, is the speed of where you're at right now, does that matter? Did you think it would be this fast? And to be honest with you, you just focus on how we're going to get better. And so to see these guys grow, especially the seniors and our young guys, and to keep getting better and to keep getting better. You never think about it was 8 years in the NCAA tournament. Your goal is to get an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, because your ultimate goal is a chance to win a national championship. That's what March Madness is all about. And so for me, to have been a part of a whole group, to get them to get that opportunity and to feel that is really, really special.
Go ahead.
Mike, you've been to 18 tournaments, I think, as an assistant coach.
Yep.
Is it different as the head coach finally, especially since you were going to be the coach designate at Syracuse?
I don't think it's different. The feeling is here. A lot of the players, Cam Dollar was a national champion at UCLA. Dave Rice was a national champion at UNLV, so our staff has experienced it. And what you're trying to do is lead these young men to understanding what it takes to have a chance to be successful and to have a chance to be in this tournament. And, to see them walk in that locker room and seeing Washington and seeing their name tag and watching the tournament today, which I think today and tomorrow are the greatest days in sport.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, it's special. The one thing I've learned about being successful in the tournament is it's special, it's great, but nothing changes. We talked about don't eat the cheese. It's about focusing in, and there's one truth. To win a game, you got to go out and you got to execute your game plan. You got to do it together. And when we've done that, we've been a successful team this season.
Stephen Bailey with the Syracuse Post-Standard. I'm curious, has there been any kind of messaging with people from Syracuse, with Jim, and if so, what have those interactions kind of been like? And any thought you might have matched up with them going into this?
You know what? Obviously, Syracuse raised me. It was a huge part of my life. I know Coach Boeheim as well, I think, as anybody in the business, and I know he's proud watching, but I also know he's preparing his team just like we are. And I'm sure, after the season, we'll get together and review the season and try to get better. But not a lot of communication other than I know he's rooting for us and I know we're rooting for them.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal. Just curious about how much you know about Utah State and maybe some of the concerns you have facing Utah State.
Well, I think a lot of concerns. They're a heck of a team, Sam Merrill's one of the best players that nobody knows about in the country. You're talking about a guy who's got double the assists of anybody on their team, and he's the combo guard. You're talking about a guy who averages over 20 points a game. I mean, he goes to the foul line. He's a great shooter. But not only that, if he's not open, he shares it. And there's not too many players like that in the country. Neemias Queta, you know, a guy almost averages close to a double-double and, you know, averages 3 shot blocks a game. I remember hearing about him in the middle of the year. They were talking about this great center at Utah State. Where'd he come from? Who recruited him? Who did this? And obviously Craig Smith. He's done a tremendous job. That league is very, very good. And to be able to win the way that they did is a credit to them. And it's going to be a heck of a challenge. And they pose a lot of challenges.
Is there an additional challenge for you being so west and coming into the Midwest from just a time adjustment?
I don't think, I mean, no, I think these kids, they go to bed late. They've been studying. We've had finals. These guys, just to have the opportunity to be here and to play in such an incredible tournament and to play against the best competition in the country, that's what you're trying to do, and we have that opportunity.
Nice.
I know you've said a little bit about the contract situation, but aside from surrounding yourself with good people and trying to get the players better, what about this is gratifying to you from a standpoint of being a career-long assistant at Syracuse and then making this statement with this team these last 2 years? It's got to be a great degree of satisfaction for you personally.
You know, I think at the end of the day, there's no question. You know, it's all about, you know, you're leading a bunch of young men and a staff to win and to learn what it takes to be successful in life, and they go hand in hand. And you know, we've learned how to win. We've played together. We've played as a unit. We've played for something greater than ourselves. Everybody's sacrificed a little of each other to have this successful season. That's the type of culture that we're trying to create. So to see that and what you're selling every day on a day-to-day basis, and you're hammering into these kids, and then seeing it work, and them seeing it work and having success, that's what it's all about. And just so proud of our guys.
Anybody else? Tremendous job. Thank you. Good questions. Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Go Dogs.